Hello friends, it's Julie, and today we're going to talk about eBay pricing for postcards and maybe a little ephemera talk. Yeah, that's my rooster. There has been a lot of questions in the comments about how do I price this, and actually some people have emailed me, how do I price my postcards, especially if there isn't another one out there like it. And that is something that I have struggled with too. And I've only been doing this for a little over a year, so I am not a pro at all. I'm just going to tell you what I experienced, and next year it might be different too if things change. So I have about 6,500 listings up right now, doing about $50 a day in sales. And so that's where I'm at right now with my selling. But yeah, you come across a postcard that you look for eBay comps or something and you don't find anyone sold. Now, if you have WorthPoint, you can find back years of history, but sometimes on WorthPoint you don't find that exact card either. And sometimes you have a real photo postcard that might be one of kind. What do you do then? When that happens to me, let's take for example a real photo postcard that there is none other in there. I can't find it on WorthPoint. So what are we going to do with it? So first of all, I don't know if this one's rare or not, but we're just going to use this as an example. Here is a real photo postcard. It says it is Silver Creek log cabins, and on the back it says it's from Vancouver, Canada, Hope, BC, 1957. So let's say, for example, I can't find this on eBay or any kind of record of this exact postcard, this image, anywhere. Like this never shown up before that in the recent past. So what I would do is I would look up Silver Creek first and see if there's any other ones that are Silver Creek. And then if that fails, and then maybe there's other cabins in that area. So that would give me a ballpark idea of what people have paid for similar cards. Now there, you know that I had sold that postcard that went for $400 and some. That one, if you had like tried to search for comps in the area, if I had just priced it the same way, I wouldn't have gotten $400 for it. So what I would suggest, if you don't know this, then I would put it up for auction. And I would put it at about the price that the other ones sell for, and then let it go. If it doesn't sell, mark it up maybe 20% to give yourself wiggle room and do it to buy it now. If it sells for the price you asked for, great. You actually made a quick turnaround sale. And the one that you hope for is that people are going to have a bidding war and bid it up. Wouldn't that be great? But that's what I would do if I didn't know the value. Although I don't always take my own advice, but that's what I would suggest you do. And if you have an eBay store, you get so many free auction listings, which I have never used them all with postcards because auctions are not the best for common postcards. Okay, so this is a chrome postcard, and it's probably a common postcard. These are mass produced, and we have like a view of a ship and shore, and this is because I grabbed it from the same area. It's another Vancouver, Canada one. And so there's probably thousands of these out there. So when you look for comps on it, what have they sold for? It could be all over the place. It could be 99 cents to $20, or more, depending on how rare and desirable they are. Postcard pricing is so arbitrary, is that it all depends on how much somebody wants and how many there are. If 10 people want this card and only one show up every year or something, then you can get a higher price. But if there are 100 of these and only one person wants them every month or so, you're not going to get top dollar for them. So what I suggest you do is find the average of pricing and go with that. Let's say this postcard generally sells for $5. Everybody else has this postcard up for $5. I want to sell mine faster, so I'm going to list mine for $4. Yours sells at $4. So now the average price of this postcard has gone down to maybe, let's say, $4.75. And the next person comes along and says $4.75. I want to sell, undercut it, for whatever. And then the value goes down and down the more people undercut the price and race to the bottom till all of a sudden this $5 postcard is only worth $3 or $2 because of that. You can price postcards at whatever you want on eBay, because we've seen some people who do auctions starting at a penny or $1, and sometimes that's what they get, because there aren't enough people wanting it at that moment. But I would encourage you to go for the average, because why would we want to undersell ourselves? If there are people out here willing to pay $5, why would you take less? Is it because you want to sell it quickly? Maybe. Or you want to sell faster? That could be. Postcards and a lot of collectibles are long tail. A lot of the postcards I listed over a year ago are selling recently, and I'm sure that's going to happen as the years go on. So it's all about a waiting game, and you have two philosophies. One is let's sell them quick and cheaper. And another one, like what I do right now, is I list for the price I want and wait for the buyer to come along. Another thing to think about is that trends change. So say you had this postcard, maybe you put it up for $6 or $7. Let's say you put this up for $7, knowing that usually people pay $5. Now let's say something comes along and they have a movie about just this ship, and all of a sudden everybody wants this image of this ship, and people are willing to pay more money, and so they get a sellout and you get your $7 for it. So that can happen too. And the opposite can happen. Maybe for some reason somebody finds a box of 1,000 of these in a back stock somewhere, and all of a sudden this is worth $1. So both things can happen. Now, I mentioned in my last What Sold video is that with Montana postcards, I hold the line at the higher price. So let's say this vintage postcard goes for $7 average. What I do is I price it up to maybe $8 or $9 and have a best offer option, because a lot of people like to bargain for the price. So I will let's say I put this for $7.97, and then somebody comes along, puts in their favorites, I give them 20% off, and so then it keeps the value of this card. Maybe somebody else comes along and says she sold that for $7.90 or $7, I'm going to sell mine for $5, and that's fine too. But I am still going to sell this card for the upper part of what they're worth, because I want to hold the value on these. As soon as you start selling something for less than it's worth, it reduces the value of the item. So that is my thought on the race to the bottom and how to price things. There will always be people who come in and undercut. And I, be honest, I've done it myself. So there's a sliding scale of what you can price and finding the averages. So if you're not sure, then on a common card, that's what I would suggest. And you'd be surprised at things as your inventory builds up. People will come to your shop, and what I have is on 3 or more cards, they get 20% off right off the top. So I've had many people buy 3 or more cards together to get that discount, and then because there are subjects that they wanted, and some of them are very common cards, like Niagara. Yes, I've sold Niagara, and like Dakotas, the Mount Rushmore, ocean waves. I sold a bunch of those. They're just like oceans and the beach, and I don't know why, but there you go. And then the onlooker ones from a previous What Sold video. So as you get your inventory up, you're going to be more attractive to people. And if they like what you offer, they like how you sell in your packaging, and they trust you, they're going to come back and choose you over somebody who they don't have the trust with, and maybe their postcard is $1 cheaper, but they know that when they order from you, you're going to give them the good service, it's going to be packaged well, and I hope that's what you're doing. So they are more likely to choose you because you have those standards. So that's where this line that I'm taking now is I'm having more standards on the pricing. And for the Montana cards, I hold the line on the higher end. The other cards, it's basically average, and then auction off the ones that are unsure of. So let me know what you think. How do you price it? What is your philosophy? Because I'm still learning, and you know, like I said, as I go along, I can change. Because in the beginning, I was undercutting some other people, but then I was like, why? I'm doing all this work, and for $1 less than somebody else would get. Than this other person got for $1 more. And as I get more of a good feedback and reputation and followers that are coming back, I don't need to do those tactics because I'm doing all right where I'm at. And this can apply for a lot of other collectibles that are long tail. So thanks for watching, and I hope you have a joyful day. Goodbye.